everybody, so new review for you guys today. We're talking about the new horror thriller from Blumhouse that hits VOD today, You Should Have Left. So this is Blumhouse's latest film. If you're a horror fan, you're very familiar with the Blumhouse production studio. I mean, they make a ton of horror films, especially a lot of the more popular mainstream ones. They're hit and miss. They make a lot of really good stuff. They make some really bad stuff. So for every Insidious or Upgrade, there's stuff like Truth or Dare, Fantasy Island, and Black Christmas. I mean, they're a mixed bag studio, although I am a huge horror fan, so that's why we're talking about this film today. It did kind of seem like they sprung this film on everyone out of nowhere because that first trailer dropped only about like a week and a half ago. But it's horror. I figured I'd check it out. It's $20 to rent, but, you know, sacrifice. This film is about Kevin Bacon's character, who's a screenwriter. He travels with his family to a remote house in Wales so he can write a sequel to his big hit film. However, a sinister force inside the house seems intent on making him pay for his past sins as he fights to save his family. This film is both written and directed by David Koepp, who's very well known for being a part of writing some really great films like Jurassic Park, Carlito's Way, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, the first Mission Impossible. He's had some pretty bad ones as well. You know, he was part of the writing team that made The Mummy 2017, that Jack Ryan film starring Chris Pine that most people don't remember anymore. And he also directed Mordecai. So it's a big mix of different interesting projects, I guess you could say. And now he's doing this smaller scale horror film, which I feel like could be interesting to step out of those big blockbuster films he's done for so many years and doing something that's much more smaller scale, set mostly in one setting. This is based off of a book. I didn't read the book, so I can't really compare the two, but just off of watching the film as it unfolded, I noticed a lot of similarities to The Shining and the fact that both films have a lead protagonist who is a writer. He goes with his family to a remote location and then he descends into madness. Of course, it's not as well executed as Kubrick's The Shining, but I feel like it was a serviceable enough different interpretation, just with that base idea kind of the same. This film is going for much more of a psychological thriller route than just a straight-up horror film, but I do think some of those psychological thriller elements are done very well. The imagery especially can be quite effective at points. It's quite creepy and stylish because of the architecture of the house that they're in, and the narrow hallways especially become much more scary at nighttime. There's still a fair share of cliches from the horror genre that you kind of expect going into a lot of these kind of films, but it didn't detract too much, I guess you could say, from the thriller aspects. It's a shame that Kevin Bacon really isn't in a lot of feature films these days, because this film kind of reminded me of just how great of an actor he can be if given the right material. He totally sold the whole aging writer who slowly appears to be going mad as his house transforms and stuff from his past comes back to bite him. I mean, it was a really good performance from him. This performance really elevated the movie for me. However, Amanda Seyfried, she wasn't really bad per se. She was okay. I mean, she's the wife of Kevin Bacon, which, I mean, it's addressed in joking fashion in the movie. They make some jokes at it, but it's just kind of weird seeing them together. I don't really feel like they had really great chemistry, and there's the whole age gap difference between the fact that Kevin Bacon is 61 years old and Amanda Seyfried is 34 years old. So it's just a little bit weird. Like, I didn't buy it at all. The pacing for this film I definitely could see being an issue because I kind of found it to be an issue as well. It was just a little bit slow. I mean, the movie's only 93 minutes long, but those first two acts do kind of drag a bit. It's a slow burn kind of film, so if those aren't your jam, I can definitely see you not being into the film. That third act, though, it does make up for it a little bit just because it does pick up and there's a lot of really interesting nightmarish-like qualities to it. But I can definitely see it not being for everyone. I think this is a perfectly serviceable horror film. I mean, it's not going to be a horror classic or anything. You've seen this kind of concept done much better before in films like The Shining. But I think it's a decent enough film to check out from Blumhouse. If you like horror thrillers or slow burn kind of horror thrillers, I think you would actually get something out of this. I mean, $20 is a very high price for a rental. So if you got money laying around like that, you know, feel free to rent it for $20. If not, you know, you could wait until it goes a little bit down in price. I mean, maybe like $15, $10. But still, I mean, I'm a fan of the horror genre. That's why I checked it out and talked about it with you guys. If you have checked out this film, what did you think of it when you checked it out? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Either way, let's get a discussion going in the comments. You know, I talk all things movies here. But thank you as always for checking out my videos. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like, hit the subscribe button. If you want to keep up to date with my movie reviews, show reactions, unboxings, and more. For the next time, I'll see you guys later.